Welcome to the Perfect Run Spinless, a challenge I've been attempting on and off over the span of a few months. I'd like to do a quick commentary segment to fully explain the challenge before I show me beating it. If you've just come to watch the full run, the timestamp is both on the screen right now and in the description down below. One thing I know I'm going to get corrected on a bunch is what counts as a spin. You can go at me all you like for what you think a spin is, but hear me out. Let's look at jumping. We can all agree that when you push the A button, the player will typically jump. But you also use A to scroll through text. If you're scrolling through text, you're not jumping, despite the fact that you are pressing A. Why am I saying this? Well, a spin is achieved through a shake input, but not everything that uses a shake is a spin. Throughout this run, I'll be using the launch stars provided by the level to move to each section. Despite the fact that you shake the remote to go through the launch star, that's not a spin. Still don't believe me? Well, let's look at the flip panels. These will flip when the player spins, not when the player shakes. Although I shake once here to do the spin, the platforms do not care that I'm violently shaking the controller through my descent. And when I go through this launch star, the platforms don't care when I go through that either. So yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, it's not a spin, quite clearly. Alright, that's the main thing I wanted to get out of the way, so let's just watch the footage. I'm taking out the game audio because I'm a bit scared of content ID claims at the moment, so enjoy this delightful remix of Peach's Castle by Qumu. I'm going to do post-commentary over the original video, but if you don't want to see it with commentary, check the link in the description and you can see it without commentary. Alright, so this is my run of the Perfect Run. I'm going to be doing some less scripted commentary over this because I feel like it's just better for me to explain it that way. So the first section here, it's pretty simple. You don't really have to change anything about what you do in this section. You just kind of casually go through, eat the flowers, make sure you skip the pole, that's very important, and also make sure you don't accidentally shake going into the launch star, because although a launch star is not a shake, well, it's not a spin, sorry, although it's not a spin, you can accidentally do a spin to get the height to get into the launch star, so make sure you don't do that. So this section, another easy section, there's basically no threat here at all. I'm not really sure why it exists, to be honest, it's just not hard in any way. Alright, so the next section is hard in any way, it's hard in many ways. There's a timestamp at the top if you want to know where to skip, to avoid having to watch 2.5 minutes of infinite fluttering. I'm going to talk through the 2.5 minutes, talk a bit about infinite fluttering, and talk a bit about this specific run as well. So, this specific run, I've been doing this on and off for a little while. Today was the first day I finally got it. I probably put around 7 to 8 hours, maybe even 9, I don't know. But just working on grinding, learning this challenge. And over that time, I've decided, you know what? I've gotten good enough at infinite fluttering. Instead of ditching Yoshi at the Pole Star section, where you can't take him anymore, I'm going to try and infinite flutter through that section and take him to the Hammer Bros. And every single other run of this I had failed. So I had just gotten the Pole Star and I tried to get through the Boomerang Bro section without Yoshi. And this one, however, this was the first one I actually managed to aim my infinite flutter correctly, which meant I was able to take Yoshi into the Boomerang Bro section. Which meant I was very clueless about what I was doing, but thankfully it all ended up working out in the end, so I'm really happy about that. But, I'm gonna show you some runs afterwards, just some failed runs from the footage I haven't deleted yet. Some of it is live commentary, some of it isn't. Just kinda depends on how I was feeling on the day. Anyway, some stuff about infinite fluttering. You can see that I'm moving really slowly right now. I wish I wasn't, I really wish I wasn't, but sadly, the developers realized, if you're fluttering with Yoshi too long, they cut off your momentum entirely, so you can't get anywhere with the flutters. But, when I do the crouch to stop fluttering, that gives me a little tiny bit of distance. A little bit of distance to the right, and that's really useful. So that little bit of distance to the right, that's helping me get through. I believe to get through the section, it takes something like 100 to 150 infinite flutters, so it's quite demanding, especially considering this is not the first time I've had to do this. This is what I have to do every time I die, You can see why I have to take frequent breaks. It gets quite frustrating. Anyway, we're out of the section. And now, we're on to the death section. This section, honestly, with Yoshi, by far the easiest thing. Probably the easiest section. Just full stop. You can flutter over these beams. You can wait for them, but after you pass them, the spiky dude pretty much deactivates. So I pretty much just flutter past them, and then after I get past, I just land. That's useful. You don't need to bring Yoshi past the cloud flower section, I should point out. But yeah, you can definitely do all of this without Yoshi. But I think it helps to have him along for the ride. So this is the thing, right? So I was trying to aim my flutter because I didn't know how to aim it. Previously, I'd been just aiming it wrong every single time. And this time, although I aimed it right, the problem was I didn't get the momentum I was hoping for. Because I mentioned how it stops you in the 2D section. But for some reason, when you jump sideways with Yoshi and you try to flutter, you just go super fast. And when you infinite flutter, sometimes it can just pick up speed and you can just shoot off. In fact, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it when I eventually make it to that giant use block over there. I just shoot off. It's really cool. But unfortunately, I didn't get that here, so I was just kind of slowly making my way. Thankfully, if I messed up a flutter or accidentally backflipped off, which does happen a lot when you infinite flutter, there were pull stars, so I could just pull myself back up and go on without Yoshi. But thankfully, that didn't have to happen this time around. There have been plenty of runs where that is what had to happen, and it was very, very, very frustrating. I was not a fan, I'm telling you now. Anyway, so Yoshi's shooting off. Need to make sure I land in the launch star, resist the temptation to shake. And here we go, the Boomerang Hammer Bro section. So I wasn't really sure how to go about this. You could see me messing around with Yoshi, just completely clueless for half of it. I eventually decided we're gonna play it safe. I was gonna try and snipe them with the hammers, but no, I decided to play it safe, lick them up and walk into them or jump on them, and that's a quick way of killing them. So that way they weren't really a threat. There's not really much threat in this section, only all of the threat ever. So I killed off that dude. That guy was giving me the most trouble when I wasn't using Yoshi, because I couldn't kill him off because it's really hard to do without spinning. So yeah, I just kind of made my way through here. Was very cautious of the boomerangs, and I got it. I have died 2 separate times with the launch star present on screen. It was not fun. I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, that's the delights of Perfect Run Spinless. That was a great experience. An all-around great time. 8 hours well spent. So now I'm going to show you some fails from other runs. I hope you enjoy.